All right, good afternoon. It is week 4, 1956. Johnny Unitas is first year as the starter for the Baltimore Colts. So far, it has been an interesting season. We hosted the Bears in the first week and lost 17-13. Unitas had a touchdown and lost a fumble. Lions in week 2, Unitas found his legs with a 24-6 win over the mighty Lions. Unitas had had a TD pass, and then at Packers in week 3, he absolutely found his stride. In a 31-22 victory, Unitas had 3 touchdowns. But now we're back on the road to face the Bears. Again, the first time there were 2 turnovers by the Colts in a 4-point loss. Brown threw a touchdown pass, and Brown had a 12-yard run. So let's see if in the second meeting between these two rivals, the Colts at 2-1 and the Bears, again, I don't have a record for them. I'm using the historical ratings for football time. Baltimore Colts rates an offense B and F according to the big historical tome that Rodney rated for us in the community. Unitas at quarterback, Dupree at running back, fullback Amici, a flanker back Moore, Raymond Berry at left end, right end is Muttscheller. On the flip side, we have Marchetti at defensive line, captain, Eggers at linebacker, star, and Reshishar, DB star. Reshishar is also the punter, the place kicker, and Tassif is the return man for the 1956 Colts. The Chicago Bears, coached by Patty Driscoll. Boy Bubank coached the Colts, by the way. Patty Driscoll is the coach of the Bears. They are an A offense. And again, I'm using the historical ratings now, so this team is better than they were when they beat us. Baltimore was, when I rolled them up, unbelievable. Really the highest ratings you could want, plus 12, plus 11. But in wanting to go back to my game, football time, and also wanting to use the historically accurate teams for Johnny Unitas' career. So it would have felt very strange to have him run the table after that Bears loss, scoring 38 points a game as in his first year as a starter. All right, anyway, Chicago Bears offense A, interesting. Wrigley Field is where we're playing this game. C defense, Brown at quarterback, Watkins at running back, Caceres at fullback. Flanker back is Hoffman. Hill is the left end wide receiver, and Schrader is the right end tight end. Their top defensive lineman is Williams. Bill George is their star linebacker. Caroline is their top DB. Brown also punts, and Blanda does the place kicking for this team. Bingham is their return man. All right, without further ado, let's go ahead and roll the die. Baltimore wins the coin toss, and no, they're going to lose the coin toss, and Chicago, with that A offense and this F defense, want to take the ball. So Chicago is going to take the ball first, and we're looking at the A charts. Again, I'm using my 2.5 book. This is like old shoes. This was kind of the first big release in which I realized I could shrink it down into a workbook, coil bound, and I've just used this book more hours and more weeks and months. Not that they're better, not that these are the perfect versions. It's just like old shoes, comfortable old shoes, right? I love these versions. So, all right, here we go. And the Bears, remember, I'm using FACs now for the random numbers. I've shuffled the deck. And the Bears, 3 on the A charts, they're going to get a field goal. That field goal from from Blanda, is a 41-yard field goal. So the Bears at home in front of hometown fans with a 41-yard field goal. Blanda, also backup quarterback. All right, Colts get the kick return. They come out and they start their drive looking at the B charts, and I flip a 4. 3, field goal for them. So they're going to finish with a Reshishar 41-yard field goal. Baltimore, Reshishar, 41-yard field goal. So both of them have driven down and hit 41-yard field goals. Kickoff for Chicago, and they're going to turn over. What is the turnover? It is a punt. So no big deal. They just punt the ball away. And Baltimore on the final possession of the first quarter. Again, Johnny Unitas trying to win 2 in a row. It's going to be 5. That's going to be a touchdown. And the touchdown is a linebacker interception return for 52. Can't happen on a punt. So we're going to flip another one. And it's going to be a wide receiver run. So wide receiver would not be wide out. It would be flanker back. That's going to be Lenny Moore, who is our other back/wide receiver. 8-yard run. Lenny Moore, 8-yard run on a basically a reverse to the flanker, almost a jet sweep type play back in the day. And folks, it is Colts 10, Bears 3. All right, Bears starting off the second quarter. And the Bears are going to get a 4. That's a field goal for Blanda of 50 yards. Blanda, 50-yard field goal. And Baltimore gets the kickoff, go to work, and it's going to be a touchdown for Johnny Unitas. It is Alan Amici run. Amici, a 3-yard run, PAT. And Chicago now in trouble as we're scoring touchdowns, they're scoring field goals. Chicago takes the kickoff. Their first drive is a turnover, and it is a sack for my lineman, so it's going to be a punt. That's going to lead to a punt, but we're going to get a sack for our guy, Marchetti. So Gino gets a big sack, which forces a punt, and Baltimore's final drive before the half is going to be a 4. That's a field goal, so we're going to get a Reshishar 59-yard field goal. Reshishar, he must have had the wind at his back in the Windy City at Wrigley Field. There must have been a pretty good gust. 59-yard field goal. Back in the day, they never would have tried kicks that long. They just would never have done it unless it was the end of the game or right before, like Tom Dempsey right before half. What the hell? Go kick it, Tom. There's no time left on the clock. If you get it, great. If you don't, anyway, it's fun. But no, back in the day, you wouldn't see kicks like this, 50, 59 yards. But my deck was not designed for just old school football. All right, Baltimore gets the ball after the halftime pep talk by Wee Bubank, and Blanda got a field goal. And 10 more, so the Colts are up 20-6. Chicago's had to punt twice. And Baltimore gets the kickoff. They go to work. It's going to be a 5. 5 is a touchdown. It's going to be a touchdown for Unitas. Unitas, 11-yard pass to Barry. PAT. And Chicago's fans now not happy. Kick return, and they drive the ball. It is going to be a field goal. 56 yards. So again, long kicks. These were designed for a different version of football. 56 yards for Blanda. Now I could fix that by just taking 10 off that. That would be adding 17 to a kick. So because they were at the goal line, I just subtract 10 from that. It would be more realistic numbers. But even then, they weren't going to kick really long field goals a lot back in the day. All right, but again, that ain't going to help them. We're scoring touchdowns. They're scoring field goals. Not good. It's going to be another touchdown and it's going to be a quarterback 12-yard run. So Unitas showing his versatility with a 12-yard run, PAT. And Unitas now starting to show why I love this Baltimore team. Chicago's final drive in the third, and it is going to be a 6. That's a touchdown. How do they do? 6-yard run for the man, Watkins. 6-yard run, and they finally get in the end zone. Unitas with 14 more for the Colts. Looking at the B charts even. And Blanda, 10 points. So A and B scores more points. See, 24, 34-16. The Colts going into the fourth quarter are absolutely drubbing Chicago. And again, even when I randomly rolled up these teams, we should have whooped them in the first game based on our ratings. But that linear balanced die, boy, really shook things up, and Chicago found a way to win. As it is here, not happening that way. Baltimore gets the kickoff, and they're going to turn over. And the turnover is a missed field goal. So it's going to be a Reshishar. Somebody finally missed a field goal. Reshishar, 46-yard field goal, no good. And here we go. They go to work. 5 is going to be a touchdown for Chicago. Are they coming back? 4-yard run for Watkins again. Chicago. Watkins, 4-yard run, PAT. And Baltimore's final drive, can they put an icing on the cake? Touchdown, and it is a 29-yard pass to Lenny Moore, or to Dupree. Unitas having a field day, 29-yard pass to Dupree. Out of the backfield, PAT. Chicago, kickoff, touchdown. And it is a run for, which will Chicago run for Watkins' third rushing touchdown. This one 3 yards. Wow. So Caceres is at the goal line, is the decoy, and they hand it off to Watkins on cross bucks and traps at the goal line. Watkins with the touchdown. Onside kick to add a possession, and it is no good. So OSK fails. And that's going to be the end of the game. They try an onside kick for one more possession. Nope. And it would just be a kill clock situation. Reshashar missed a field goal. 29-yard pass for Johnny to put the game on ice. And 14 points on 2 runs by Watkins. Holy cow. 24-34. 41 for the Colts. 24-30 for the Bears. Holy cow. And the Colts come out to 3-1. Bears, again, I don't know. Again, we know the Bears in real life went 9-2-1. They have already split with us. I don't know what happened in real life there. But there it is, folks. And in that game, we use about half the deck, which means our probabilities for our D6 random numbers are all right. As long as we don't run out of cards, we got plenty of cards. In every single game in this book, if you've got 62 or 72 FAC cards, you're never going to mess up the probabilities for any game in this book. You don't want to do so little cards that you might greatly affect the probabilities of the random numbers before a game is finished. You don't want to end up with like 4 6s left, in the deck or something in a baseball game, and then every flip you flip is a 6 6 6 6 or something, right? Which could still happen randomly here. But you want there to be enough cards that it is truly a random number, right? Because the minute you flip a card, you change probabilities of something occurring. So the minute I flip a 6 out of this deck, there is now 1 fewer 6 in this whole deck. But if I've got more than enough cards, then we've got a legitimate random range of variables, right? If that makes sense. Because, again, the game would be over before I could get to all the 6s anyway, or all the 1s or whatever, right? So, there you have it. Is it truly random? Never as random as a perfectly balanced die that's well rolled, but a deck of perfectly balanced random numbers that's well shuffled is infinitely random. The only difference, and I've tried to explain this, the randomness is there, but the minute you take a card out of the deck, you change probability. So the minute the King of Diamonds comes out of the deck, we know there's no more King of Diamonds in the deck, right? So again, even playing cards, as random and as awesome as that is, the minute I flip that over and the King of Diamonds, if it means something, is out of the deck, then we know for the remainder of that deck, there's no more King of Diamonds, right? So that's the danger of limiting your results. At least this is a random number deck. So it's 1 through 6 times 10. So 10 ones, 10 twos, 10 threes, 10 fours, 10 fives, 10 sixes. So they're all multiple duplicates. So we do have a truly random number going on here, as opposed to there being only 1 6 in the deck. Once it's gone, you're screwed. You just screwed the pooch for anybody getting a 6, right? So, all right. If you're making FACs to do this kind of thing, and again, every single game of mine in this book, you can easily resolve a game and have more than half the deck on baseball, basketball, whatever it is. So, all right, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.